Darryn Keiller es CEO y fundador de Way Beyond, una empresa que está cambiando la forma en que hacemos agricultura, ya que se especializan en la digitalización del sector y cómo la tecnología puede transformar la forma en que cultivamos nuestros alimentos y optimizamos los recursos limitados de nuestro planeta.
One of the challenges when you have a small business is keeping that business going, especially when it comes to cash coming in. Many of you who operate companies understand the challenge of cash flow is a very big problem, especially when you're small. So the opportunity was, okay, could we turn the fortune of the small business around? So to do that, we took an inquiry from the government of Egypt. So we built all these products, we put them on a shipping pallet, and then we sent them to Alexandria in Egypt to be received by the government. Now the point of this story is that any sort of big idea, any ambition of this scale, when you want to do something that's in a global market, requires risk. And that's a very important part of being an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter whether you're setting up a small local business or trying to do something that is much bigger than that, you have to take risk. So that company, we grew it from 11 or 12 countries that we were exporting to until we were exporting to 45 countries. And then we sold it to a private equity company last year. And this is kind of like what the journey is like. It's a very risky journey, but if you persevere, you can be successful. So that is the story of that company. So we owned both of them. We created Way Beyond. I founded that in 2016. And it was an idea. And the idea was about digital agronomy. Because at that time, in horticulture and greenhouses, protected cropping, there was nothing. And then we launched our first product in February of 2020. What happened in February of 2020? Pandemic, right. So there is always these things that you cannot expect. These are the challenges of operating a company, of a business, an organization. But when you're an entrepreneur, the risk is even higher because nobody even knows who you are. So in 2020, we just fought for survival like anybody else at that time. The good news is that things changed in 2021. So in 2021, we were still all in lockdown, but we were able to communicate with potential customers over Zoom or Teams, and start to establish relationships in the industry from a distance, doing all of this from New Zealand. So in that 2 years, we went from no revenue and no customers to the following year, we had now attracted 25 of the world's largest companies in the industry we're all in. But to do that takes a lot of resilience. You have to have no fear. You have to show great courage because there are always things trying to stop you. So, perseverance as an entrepreneur is very, very important. And we're working with Felix and Camilla and the team here at CEICKOR also to teach about digital agronomy. Because another really important part of transforming anything is to educate. And it's very important that we educate our young people in new ways of doing things. It is not enough to just continue to do what you've done in the past. So, what did we learn on this journey? So the first thing is we had to develop great relationships with everybody in the industry. You guys all know this. You've been in the industry a long time, right? Much longer than me. So you've got to go and talk to all the people who are of influence in the ecosystem around the world. And that means that I spend about 6 months of the year on a plane. So I just travel around and around the world talking to people. So what I want to say about Mexico is I think, as a country, you guys have an amazing opportunity to innovate, to change the way you farm and remain very competitive in the world. So what I encourage you to do, my message to you is to, look to new ideas, look to new innovation, look to your young people, to educate them in new ways of doing things. Because not only will this serve them individually for their life, but it's also going to make Mexico as a country much more competitive on the global landscape. Thank you for your time. Gracias.